There were many traditional scholars that looked at the money markets. You talked about Bagehot, or before that, Henry Thornton or Ralph Hawtrey, Dennis Robertson, the early John Maynard Keynes. What happened to that so-called British banking school? Why did it evaporate from consciousness and awareness?
Well, this is a story of intellectual history that you're asking. Certainly, I identify myself as being in exactly that tradition. Those names are the names that are in my pantheon and on my bookshelf, and the place where I very much see myself as trying to look at the world. I tell my students this all the time. What would Bagehot say if he were around today and looking out at the world, and he knew a little bit of modern finance? You know, the instruments are different. Many of the issues are the same. The technology is different. We have computers and all of that, and electronic exchanges. But what would Bagehot say today? So that's the intellectual tradition that I myself am rooted in. And I don't think it ever went completely away, in the sense that there are people in central banks, very much. I would say Charles Goodhart is very much in that tradition. And many people who actually are in the markets themselves that tradition never sort of went away, because it does engage with a certain reality that some people in their jobs have to engage with. Where it went away was in academia, okay, where academia went a different direction, and particularly in America, I think maybe more so than in the UK, where the economics profession after World War II reoriented itself as a kind of technocratic policy discipline that's giving advice to the mandarins in Washington, and from a scientific point of view. And so taking our hands out of the messy day-to-day of actual institutions and historical understanding, and having this abstract scientific approach that gets us above the fray. That positioning of economics, I think, has a lot to do with how certain kinds of styles of analysis fell out of favor.